China's secret crypto comeback. What it means for US investors, United States in 2025. What if I told you that China, the same country that banned crypto mining and trading just a few years ago, is now quietly building a blockchain empire? In plain sight, China plus crypto comeback equals, and here's the kicker. The US has no idea how big this really is. They're quietly coming back. Why is China silently reinvesting in crypto infrastructure in 2025? And what does this mean for you, an American investor, who thought the crypto war was over? This isn't just a comeback, it's a strategic move that could reshape the global crypto market and your portfolio. This 5 chapter is very important. Let's go. I am showing 5 chapter step by step for you. The phrase China is back in crypto isn't a headline, it's a whisper. Not in the way you might expect. Not with public exchanges, Bitcoin promotions, or meme coins, but with infrastructure, control, and a digital strategy that most of the West still doesn't see coming. Since 2023, while the world assumed China had walked away from crypto, it was quietly rebuilding, under a different name. Blockchain is not a tool for speculation, it's a national strategy. Digital China 2030. The comeback began with state-backed blockchain projects. The BSN, blockchain-based service network, expanded globally. Government-approved tokens for cross-border trade and supply chain tracking rolled out in Asia and Africa. And a new wave of private companies emerged, quietly backed by Chinese capital, setting up shop in Dubai, Singapore, and even Canada. These companies weren't breaking any Chinese laws. Why? Because they weren't based in China. Yet their technology, leadership, and funding all pointed back to Beijing. And then came the ECNY, China's official digital currency, already rolled out in 25+ cities, with cross-border pilots involving Russia, UAE, and Brazil. While the US debates stablecoin regulations, China has already digitized entire trade zones. China's ECNY now accepted across BRICS trade corridors. In short, China didn't come back to play the same game. It came back to control the board. So while American investors scroll through meme coins and speculate on ETFs, China is building something deeper. A shadow crypto economy that plays by its own rules. And it's already shaping where the next wave of capital is flowing in 2025. Chapter 3. The quiet strategy. By 2025, China is not openly competing in the crypto markets. It's outsmarting them silently. While regulators and media in the West obsess over Bitcoin ETFs and SEC lawsuits, China is working behind the curtain, building power without headlines. This is what we call the quiet strategy. And here's how it works. Point 1. Blockchain without the buzz. China learned from the chaos of the 2017 and 2021 bull runs. Speculation created volatility, and volatility threatened the Communist Party's control. So instead of chasing hype, China embraced invisible infrastructure, digital identity blockchains, smart logistics ledgers, CBDC cross-border transaction rails. All government approved, all strictly controlled, and all designed to avoid public attention. 2. Global expansion via proxies. Remember those crypto ambitions. So while you're watching coins rise and fall on your phone, China is watching you. Not because they want your Bitcoin, but because they want to control what comes after it. Chapter 4. US Investor Impact. Let's stop talking about China for a second, and let's talk about you, the US investor. Because whether you're holding Bitcoin, Ethereum, or just now dipping your toes into crypto in 2025, China's comeback is already affecting your wallet. You just may not see it yet. 1. Shifting liquidity and market behavior. Crypto markets in 2025 aren't as US-dominated as they used to be. Thanks to China's quiet re-entry through foreign firms, smart contract platforms, and BRICS-backed stable coins, a growing portion of global crypto liquidity is being routed outside of American influence. That means price movements are less predictable, trading volumes are harder to trace, and US investors are no longer the market's gravitational center. If you're using US-based data alone, you're flying blind. Point 2. Regulatory whiplash in Washington. While China plays offense, the US is stuck in regulatory gridlock. In 2025, the US still hasn't passed a unified federal crypto framework. Stablecoin bills are stalled. The IRS is cracking down on DeFi gains, and banks are still unsure if they're allowed to even touch crypto. Meanwhile, China is quietly partnering with nations to create alternatives to the US dollar using blockchain. Digital dollar? Still a rumor. So here's the risk. If Washington doesn't move soon, American innovation and capital will go elsewhere. 3. Suppressed access to emerging markets. Because China is tying up infrastructure in Africa, Southeast Asia, and South America, US investors may soon be locked out of the next big growth frontier. Why? Because those countries will be building on Chinese crypto rails, not Ethereum, not Solana, and definitely not platforms subject to US sanctions. If you're not connected to the infrastructure, you're cut out of the opportunity. 4. False sense of security. Many American investors still believe the US will always lead in crypto because of Wall Street, Silicon Valley, and the dollar. But in 2025, leadership isn't about who invented the tech, it's about who controls the pipes, the standards, and the rails. And right now, China is building the rails. Quietly, globally, and without permission. US investor day trading meme coins. Right shows a Chinese-backed company launching a DePIN network in Africa. So the question is no longer, will China come back to crypto? It's, are you ready for a world where they've already won the next phase, and America didn't even show up? Diversify across use cases. Not just coins. Don't just hold Bitcoin or chase altcoin pumps. Instead, diversify your exposure to different crypto categories that will matter in the post-China era. Decentralized infrastructure. DePIN opposes state-run rails privacy protocols, especially important as surveillance-based systems expand interoperability projects, like Cosmos and Chainlink, which may bridge Western and Eastern systems. Stablecoin innovations. Not just USDC. Look at real-world asset, RWA-backed coins. If China is building a walled garden, make sure your investments are in the open-source alternatives. 4. Educate yourself before the rules get written. The US is still writing the rules. And when those regulations finally arrive, many investors will be caught off guard. Prepare now. Understand how KYC, taxes, and reporting requirements could change. Use hardware wallets and keep your funds off centralized exchanges. When possible, learn how to use DEXs, DeFi, and self-custody tools. The more you know now, the less vulnerable you'll be later. Point 5. Watch the rails, not the headlines. Ignore the hype. Watch the rails. In 2025, Whoever builds the digital rails controls. Data policy power, and while China's crypto comeback might be secret, its infrastructure is public, if you know where to look. Crypto is no longer a bet. It's a map. Learn how to read it. You don't need to panic. You just need to pay attention, position smartly, and move early. China's not coming. It's already here. Now it's up to you. Will you react late? Or prepare now? And subscribe. More tips and tricks, all issues solve my channel, finance relevant topics and educational content. Thanks for watching.